Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the training, and I'll add people in as I get going. So this will be recorded. I have most people on mute. I'll answer any questions once we're done. We're going to, as we get close to the end of the year, I like to do recaps pretty regularly, just beginning from A to Z. This Friday, we'll have our lunch and learn at noon at Truly Title, 2901 Dallas Parkway. It's in Plano, in between Park and Parker on the west side of the tollway. They sponsor our company. They've been amazing. And I might actually just get some champagne and orange juice, and we'll have some mimosas and pizza and wings and bundt cakes, and just kind of probably have a real laid back training, just answer any questions y'all might have. But for all intents and purposes, after this training, we'll be moving into the new year, because we have Christmas, New Year's Eve the next weeks. So I'll be posting every day something. I have an app I just downloaded on my phone where I can share my phone screen. I'm going to put all those on my YouTube page, so check that regularly. And the goal will be to get everybody to where you never have to log into a laptop if you don't want to. Everything I ever do that I'm going to show you today, and that's really how I do everything. So number one, I might be coming back and forth to add people in when I hear them buzz, but as of right now, the first thing I want to talk about is Haystack. Haystack is a free app. Have it on my phone, an electronic business card. In order to give the business card, you have to get somebody's cell phone. When you get their cell phone and you send it, it looks like this. People will open it up. It'll have a link to all your social media. It looks actually a little nicer than this. But at the end of the day, your website, your address, you can always put a broker address or yours. I mean, I let you market and brand yourself. You obviously want your own Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also scan your business card. So that's pretty cool. I have two. You can have as many as you want to send different types of marketing. Everybody should have that. I'm not going to, obviously, we don't demand anything from you guys. I want you guys to be self-motivated, but did share Gary Vaynerchuk's keynote speaking conference with Compass Realty, and it was incredible. It's 40 minutes. If you have time over the weekend, Google Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V. It's Garyvee, and it's his Compass. He was the keynote speaker for Compass Real Estate. It's 40 minutes. It's incredible. I listen to it almost every morning in the morning before I get going, and I just discovered it a couple of days ago. Yeah. Your greatest commodity. All this technology is so easy. It's learnable. Anything you can do on it, you check Google and Meet, 5 8 to midnight. So that's a business card. Haystack is the app. We all need to know about DHS Realty's YouTube site. I've already put some on an amendment, 10 minutes on a condo contract, 33 minutes on the forms. It's over 600 videos. I mean, there's no reason why we're not looking at these just to kind of get going for the morning. Maybe if you read a devotional in the morning, pop in one of these for a couple minutes, and absolutely, you should have your own YouTube as well. Whenever I meet somebody, and I do this every time I train, every time I teach a class, I talk to agents. I don't care who they go with, but I want them to leave my class being a little better. And every single person I ever talk to, the first thing I always do is I try to set the appointment. I get their cell phone. I get their email. I ask them a weird question like, hey, by the way, Jennifer, give me your realtor's name so I can protect them in case you like the house I'm going to show you tonight. Oh, I don't have a realtor. Boom. Then when I get off the phone, I send them my Haystack business card. I send them my YouTube. And it's just like any one of you guys that have joined me, you know that immediately after I talk with you, I sent you my business card and I've sent you my YouTube video. And I sent you also a link to all my social media. It's not that difficult to go into your smartphone, make a link on notes that says Jennifer's links, and it has her YouTube link. There's a space and it has underneath it her Twitter, her LinkedIn, her Instagram, her YouTube. I mean, it's super cool because you can send that to everybody. And that's really what I do as a protocol with anybody I deal with in my life. I don't care if it's an agent, a buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord. Those are the 5 people that, in my opinion, are my clients. You're my client as an agent here, and then a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord. Everybody, I send my business card, YouTube, and a link of all my social media. So again, that's what you're gonna want to do. I think it'd be kind of cool if you set up your own group me, and it was Brandon's group me, and he's like, hey, I know you're my buyer, but I have a group me for my clients, and I'd like to add you into it. And I post every morning, and you can put it on mute, but the good news is you're always going to be up to date on what's going in the marketplace. So it's just going to be your creativity on that. Now we get into what's going to make us a little different as a firm. One of the things I offer free to all the agents is Forewarn. Forewarn is an app where you can plug in somebody's phone number. And when you plug in their phone number, it's going to tell you their criminal history. When you get their criminal history, it's then going to give you a little bit of forewarning as to if they're furthering, a serial killer or not. So I call you up one day. Hey, my name's Doug. I like to look at 123 Easy Street. When you get off the phone, you just kind of think, man, that guy sounded just a little weird. So you plug in my cell phone, hit enter, and it's going to pull up my name, and that's my wife. The funny thing is, that's not my address. That's where my dad used to live like 15 years ago. But still, when you click on my name, you're going to see that, hey, everything looks normal, but look at that. And I know y'all are all right now going, I wonder what he did. I'm not going to open it because it's really bad. I'm joking. I'm going to open it, and it's a speeding ticket I got in California, but I wasn't even there then. And the thing about it is, it's not always accurate, but usually it is. It's just that Douglas Smith is pretty common. So this is a court record that came up. I never got a speeding ticket in California. But my point is that we've had multiple agents that have put in somebody's phone number, and something's come up. And when it comes up, you absolutely want to let me know, so I can give you an idea whether I think it would be a good idea to show that person. So again, I mean, you can do anything. My wife's number, boom, it's going to pull her up. And again, it pulls her up because we're both tied to that number. And if you click on her, it's going to have her last phone records. And that goes all the way back to her college days. And so does mine. So, that's kind of cool. And again, that's called Forewarn. When you come on board with us, you get 4 emails. The first one is my onboarding PDF. The second one is Back Agent. The third one is Op City. And the fourth one is Forewarn. So everybody should use this because it's cost me $10 a month per agent, and we have 202 agents. So it's not inexpensive on my part, but I want to pay it because I feel good at night when I go to bed knowing that you have all the resources available in order to be safe. And at the end of the day, I care about your safety and you being happy more than I ever care about you being in our company. Another website that you need to have, and I have it as a save screen, is Op City. And we have a lot of agents that don't think it's that big of a deal. They don't want to, participate in it. These are free leads, and you pay a referral on the back end. And as you go down, you'll see that we have people with a lot of business. Look at Hammerman, the Hammer Time. He's got 2.8 million in the pipe, 2.6 Portia, Sealy, Dawn, Janelle. Janelle doesn't need to do it. He's very successful and busy, but he still does it because it's just an extra little, almost like a stipend every month, a floor. Lola, 1.2 million in the pipeline. Zach, 1.08 million. Now that's not what they made. That's who they're working with. Yeah, but you can see here, like they've had 4 closing. Zach, 8 transactions, no closes. But look at Danielle Mignon. She's had 5 closings. Look at Lola, 4 closings. You go up, you've got Hammer with 3, Portia with 1, Dawn with 1. Those are closed transactions. So you can see that you have, business that way. Some people don't want to do it, and that's fine, but I offer that to everybody, and I would absolutely jump on board with it. So that's OpCity. Now let's talk about the tools that you're going to need every day. And the first one obviously is Back Agent. Back Agent is our intra-office website. And on Back Agent, this is the website, dhsrealty.backagent.net. I have it on my phone saved as a home screen, not the app. I have the actual website. When you log in, your screen will be just like mine, and it'll look like this. Basically, this is where you start a transaction. You click on it, and it's really easy. I'll walk you through it. This is where you find people. So let's say that you want to find Brandon. Well, he's not in our company yet. He's visiting. Once he's in here, you can type his name in. So you're like, how do I find Hammer? All you do is AH and hit enter, and it's going to pull him up. If you click on it, you'll have his contact information. How do I find Dave Wilson? DA. Everybody with DA will come up, and you scroll down, and you'll find Dave Wilson, Dave Lloyd, Don, everybody with a DA. All right, so it's dummy proof. It's a great way to find people. Obviously, you can go on GroupMe, but that's a little burdensome because you got to put your cell phone after it. And I do recommend that we do put our cell phone after a post on GroupMe. It's just going to make it a little more efficient. And, we have people that work day jobs. I don't even like to call them full-time because full-time is considered 40 hours, and I work that in 3 days. So, what is full-time really? They just have another job. And you know what? I've lived my life for 52 years, and many years I've had 5 and 6 jobs I've done. So don't let anybody be condescending to you if you have a side hustle. There's nothing wrong with it. I really get annoyed by brokers that talk about you being part-time or full-time, because I don't put anybody in a box, and I never will. You do you, and I'll do me, and everybody's going to live a good life. And when you die, you'll know you lived and sucked the marrow out of life. So that's where you find people. A lot of times people want to know where our documents are in our company. If you click on Office at the top, you hit Documents, you're going to click Quick Resources. And right here, you can do all kinds of marketing. We have all of our logos. Okay. If you scroll down, this is going to be a marketing link. This is an open house sign-in sheet. This is a referral form. If you get a referral, either sending it or receiving it, that's where you go and you open it and you print it and fill it out. And then right now we have, for the last, 15 days, we have our W-9. I'll be putting a new one on January 1st. And that's what you send apartments and you send leases to. That's a letterhead as well, if you ever want to use it. So again, that's going to be Back Agent. Okay. And super simple to use. We do have a transaction coordinator. Her name's Amanda Riken. She charges $200 per transaction. She does all the paperwork, and she's great. But if that's a lot and you want to save that, feel free to reach out to me and I'll walk you through it and you can get comfortable doing it. You won't be an expert like her, but it'll get you from A to Z, and I can do it basically blindfolded. All right. Another thing we need to cover is, and again, these are going to be apps that we use. This one is chicagoagent.com. Now the app is called Chicago Agent One. You see it right there. Only reason I use it, Truly Title is our sponsor. I just use it because I want to be able to get something easy to spell for people. I sometimes work with people that have a language barrier, and if they see Chicago Agent, one word, space one, they can usually find it on the App Store. Every title company has the same app, so I'm good with it. When you log in on your phone, it's going to be the same app. Okay, this is the website, so chicagoagent.com, but on the app, it's Chicago Agent space one. Buyer net sheet right here, super simple. That's when you're showing Jennifer and she's in the house and she goes, hey, I'm conventional, but I'm approved for $500,000. What would the home, what would the mortgage payment be at 422? You go, oh, okay, well, hold on, let me open up my app real quick. And you put 422. She's putting 10% down. It automatically kind of picks an interest rate. That's the market rate. All you got to do is hit compute. That's all. going to tell you her mortgage payment, ballpark. Of course, you're going to get her with a lender who will give it to her exact. But again, if you scroll up, you'll see that her payment's about $3,000. If she said, you know what, I really don't want it to be over 2,500. Well, number one, you need to let her know that every year taxes and insurance change, so you can't guarantee that. But if you wanted to do 2,500, all you would do is delete it and put 2,500 and hit done, and it's going to recalculate it. It just takes a second. But it's going to recalculate for her to have 2,500. How much more? Buyer net sheet. Here you have seller. Okay, pretty cool. On a seller, obviously we train on listings, and you, in my opinion, you never, ever go on a listing without 3 net sheets. So you get a ballpark of what you think the seller's going to want to list the home at. Oh, I want to list it at $500,000. So you put $500,000. When you go to the commission, you can hit the rotary. You can decide what your business plan is. You'll never have to call me to okay a commission, because you'll pay $225 on your first 20 homes, no matter what, in 1 year. December 31st, from January 1st to December 31st. If you sell over 20 homes, the 200 drops off and you only pay $25. That's automatically done. So let's say you wanted to do 1% on your end. Well, you change it. And when you change it, it's going to ask you if you want to make it on every future estimate or just this one. And then you'll see the 4%. You scroll down, and you really don't have to touch anything. Just delete the interest rate, because this is the program guessing what your seller's interest rate is. And then you just hit compute, and it's going to tell you what the seller would net at $500,000 with 4% commission. And you're able to make it really professional. You basically, hit share print. It'll tell you to pick a template. Super cool. If you buy the premium on Chicago Agent, now this is free, but if you buy the premium, it's like $8 a year. You're going to get a bunch of sheets of paper that you could print to help make your home buyer packet. So again, you can print some of these sheets once they load, get the IBS and the buyer rep, put in your bio, and you're going to have a pretty cool looking home buyer packet. And I like to make the front of the packet as generic as possible, and that way I can give it to a buyer, seller, tenant, or a landlord. Okay, so it should load in a second, another 10 seconds or so. If it doesn't, and I'm going to move on. But just remember that the goal is to always have a home buyer packet to give to a buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord. And you're going to be able to search for buyer pages, seller pages, pages for open houses, and it's going to be pretty cool. So just remember that this is all part of, and here they are. So you can see them. I talked to death trying to get it here. You can go down and you can print any of these, and it's pretty cool. And again, it's good for you to make a home buyer packet. And you can see over here, you've got all kinds of different things you can do. So again, that's premium. I think it's $8 a year. I pay for it because I love it. And I use this app almost every single day. Our two kind of steak, when I always like to say you sell the sizzle and I'll provide the steak. Our two main steak websites are going to be obviously, I like to put this on my phone also. It's matrix.netris.net, and I have it on my phone. And you're going to have your own username, which is your license with a 0. You're going to have your own password, and then when you hit enter, you normally get to a screen where you have about boxes. And after you get the boxes, you're going to see this screen. And again, you're going to see 14 boxes, 7 on top of 7. You always at the top left corner, and then you're going to go into the MLS. This will be exactly, if you put this website on your phone, matrix.netris.net, this should be pretty similar to what you have. Now I'm going to take Jennifer as an example. She just joined us. I went into her MLS. I cleaned it up a little, but she's been licensed for a while, so I left it the way she wanted it. I did but the one thing I did do is I went up here to my matrix, and I do this for everybody that joins our company. I go to summary, and once you go to summary, I go to settings, And once I go to settings, I go to portal notifications. And in Jennifer's, she didn't have anything marked. And what I did is I marked this one and that one. So I had 3 marked. I went down here and I put in her phone number and I texted her what her phone provider was. And then she got a 4-digit text and she sent me the 4 digits and I put it in here and hit save. That means that now anytime that she ever gets a buyer that opens a portal, favorites a home, she'll get a text message. And that's one of the things that kind of separates us is you could be licensed for friggin' 20 years and not know that. And I just like everybody to get on board to where you're very proactive when somebody favorites a home because your phone's going to go off. So that's one thing I do with everybody. And then of course I go and hover over the search tab and I check out to make sure that when you click quick that your MLS only has active homes you're sending. Most of y'all, even when you come from a different brokerage, and Jennifer, just because I know you're on here, you had it active, you had these marked. I uncheck marked them for you. And when I uncheck marked them, I went over here and I hit the rotary and I hit save. And that means that every time you now go in here for residential quick, you're only sending homes that are available. For some reason, when the MLS sends you out your initial login, they have these 3 marked on every search. So when I clean up your MLS, what I'm really doing is I'm going into each of these and I'm going into multifamily in both. I'm going into lots and acreage in both. I'm going into commercial and do both. I'm going to residential and doing both. And I'm unmarking these 3 and then I'm hitting the rotary and that saves it as a current search criteria. Over here on the far right, you can see it says recent searches. If you ever click it, it'll give you all your searches. And I think it goes back to almost 100. So you can always know that you'll get the most updated searches if you have a search that you've saved. And so that way you don't always have to go search residential quick. So let's say you had a listing and somebody called you on it and you wanted to send everything that's in the same vicinity as that listing. Well, all you would do is right here, you could go, hey, my listing is at 8005 Fall Meadow. So after a while, it's going to auto-populate. You pick it. And let's say you want a search of 5 miles from that listing always. Well, 82 results. So you hit results, save new auto email. That's what you always do. Results, save new auto email. And then you email it to yourself. And that way you'll have it. Okay, I'm just going to do this quick. It's not my email. I'm just doing it for training. And then here you can just put test because it's coming to you. Okay, go down and hit save. Okay, well, now you start getting sign calls. And instead of going here to search residential quick, once you go back to, you're logged in and you're like, man, I have to go do a search again. No, all you have to do is go over here. And once you click on this, that is your search right there. And so all you do is you click it and it'll automatically go to where all you do is hit save new auto email. And once you hit save new auto email, you're going to be able to send to a new client because the next page is where you put in somebody's name, you put something in the subject line, you scroll down and hit save, and that just emailed it. So there's all kinds of pretty cool resources here. And again, what it's going to take is you practicing, which is hover over this search tab and go, I have somebody just called me. They want to look 0 to $451,111. Okay. 451,000. That's 0 to 451. Then you go down here and you type in the city and there's 10 matches that are single family. Okay. With the master on the first floor. Because what I did is I think that's good resale. So I always have master floor check marked. And all I have to do is when I went here and did a residential quick the very first time, I set up what I want it to always be. So I click single family, I check marked master down, and then I hit the rotary. And that means that every time I open this, I know that I'm searching single family homes that are active that have the master down. But that's just me. I can always uncheck mark it if Jennifer was a buyer and said she wanted a master on the second floor. But I would absolutely tell her why I would object to that in a nice way. And it's just for resale purposes. So, so that you'll use all the time. Back at this dashboard, the reason why I kind of like it simplified, but again, you do what you want, is, and some people don't know this, but this search square right here, I use it almost every day. If a buyer calls you and says, hey, I'm interested in 2455 and it's Badlands, but they only know that it starts with a B, you could go just like that with a B and hit search, and it would pull up any property in the MLS that started with that, that street name. Okay, so let's say my home, it's 8005 Fall Meadow. Let's say somebody goes, hey, what's the price of 8005 Fall Meadow? That's all I have to do. And if I hit search, ever in the MLS 2003, it's going to pop. And once I hit search, you'll see that it did. I bought this home in 2007, so it goes back to 2003, and somebody bought it in 2003, so it's going to have, you're going to see everything with 8005 and F, and once you get here, you're like, oh, look at that, it sold in 2007. Oh, look at that, it sold in 2005. So you're always going to have a good way to, you know, check out any property. And really, you can either have the street number in the first letter, you could have the whole street name, you could put in the city, and it's all going to eliminate and kind of narrow it down. And that way you don't have to look for it doing this, you know, a quick search. It's just like, hey, right here, this search, boom, pull it up. Sometimes you're going to pull up a property and it's got no history in the MLS and you're doing a listing. Well, hover over search and go to the bottom, public record. And when you go to public record, you basically have to do it kind of as a search. 8005 Fall Meadow, you can see it says one match. When I click on results, there it is, that's my house. And right here, I click on the tax roll and it's gonna have my name and more information about it, what the property taxes are, what it's taxed at. So you should be in pretty good shape being able to use this public tax record. What I'd recommend is, you know, over the holidays, as people start spending time with their family, you're going to have some downtime, and just go in and mess around with this. The easiest thing to do is input a listing. And again, when you call me, you usually go, hey, how do I input a listing? And I'm going to say log into MLS. And again, once you log into MLS, you'll be here and you just hit input. And when you hit input, you hit add new. And when you hit add new, it's going to ask you, what kind of property is it? Well, if it's residential, you'll click that. If it's lots and acreage or a lease or commercial. So let's just say we're listing my house. You hit residential. Then it's going to say field from the realist tax. You'll click that. Then you're going to go here and type in the address. And don't worry about circle or anything. Just see if it pulls up this way. You'll go over here, you'll select a county, and then you'll type real quick the county it's in. So let's say it was in Dallas. I got Clay, I'm going to do Dallas. I'm going to do Collin. Okay, now I hit search and it should come up. Okay, then I hit fill. And I mean, this is pretty straightforward. You're going to have all the tabs you have to fill in to get a listing done. I always like to go here to status. The last tab, I like to hit active, and then I like to hit submit. Then what it does is it tells me left to right, every tab that I have to make that red caution go disappear. So I start here and I start filling it in. When I hit submit in this tab, it should go away, and the next tab. Once I get to here and that goes away, if all these are gone, it'll make it an active MLS. Okay, so that's kind of cool. All right, the last thing I want to cover is zip form. So we're at 30 minutes. We've got a lot. I like trainings to be pretty short. This is going to be zip forms. Everybody gets into it differently. I think the main thing that we need to know is once you get into it, you will be looking at this screen. All you have to do until you die is hit this button, new. Once you hit it, you're going to have two boxes that we care about. It's a seller, a buyer, or a lease. If it's a buyer, you'll click that. If it's a seller, you'll click that. If it's a tenant landlord, you'll click that. So I'm working with Jennifer. I click on her. She's a buyer. I click on purchase. I name it. her nickname, her name, only she's going to see it. Only I'm going to see it. So inside joke, I'm going to nickname it The Hand. And she's laughing right now. I'm going to select residential. And then I'm going to pick the template. And she's a buyer. Now, I am the only one that sees that name. I hit save. The next screen, I'm going to be looking at a white summary square. I go 2 tabs over to documents. And when I click on it, booyah, all the forms are there. They're all pre-filled. It's dummy proof. But I will help everybody with it. I love doing it. It's like a passion. I love getting you from A to Z. As much as you like meeting a new buyer and getting them under contract, I like it when you call me and you have no idea what you're doing. I can get you from A to Z in a heartbeat. So again, you're going to open these up and you're going to you're going to start filling them out. The big thing I'll tell you is this, because that's really all we need to know about zip forms, is that every single time you enter zip forms, every time, this is your screen, and you always hit new. And once you hit new, let's say it's a seller, you pick the first box, you name it the seller's name. You select always residential and you'll pick a drop down. And this is a listing. And then you'll hit save and you'll be at a white summary square. And when you're at the white summary square, you'll go 2 tabs over to documents. And once you're there, you got all your forms. They're pre-filled. I will tell you that one thing we need to do before we ever start writing up an offer is, number one, you've got to find it in the MLS. And once you find it, you've got to click on the MLS number. When you click on the MLS number and it loads on the screen, I want you to go here, print, and print the agent full report. That's going to be one of the options. The agent full report. It's right there. Print that. After you print it, hit the back button. You'll be back at the listing. Right above the listing, it'll say tax. Click on that and print the tax roll. That's all you need to write an offer. So after you print the agent full report and the tax roll, you will go to zip forms and you will hit the new button. You'll pick one of the 3 boxes. You'll name it, select the dot next to residential, and pick the appropriate template. Once you hit save, you'll be looking at the next screen, a white summary square. You'll go 2 tabs over to documents and you'll be locked and loaded. Okay. All right. That is pretty much the training. I'm going to stop the recording because I like it to be pretty succinct. And